Hello, everybody, and welcome to Victory Sunday Night. Jason Sarney here with the PhinManiacs.com podcast, and we have a couple of very happy writers. We have Hussam Patel, we have Jorge Hinojosa. How are you guys doing? I'm going to start with you, Hussam. Congratulations on the win.
I feel good on this win, especially for Tua's first start. I got the jersey. I had to have the jersey on today.
Nothing wrong with that. Jorge, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Jason. I mean, it's always better to look at the things that the team can improve on after a win than after a loss, and that was a great game.
I will toss it up to you in terms of you just putting out a nice Jorge's Hot Takes article right away. So why don't you give a little bit of a preview of what you saw in the game and what you got in that article up on PhinManiacs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the good thing is that Tua got that first hit out of the way. He got straight up, walked it off, no biggie with the hip, and it was a hit by Aaron Donald. So that's always good to see from your rookie quarterback that had some injury concerns. The defense played a dominant game the first half and halfway through the second half as well. They were gassed out by the end. That has to be a point of concern for Flores and the rest of the staff. But I think the team looked good. It was a very solid complimentary win with scores by the defense, special teams, 4 turnovers. There are certain things that worry me. I think that the running game has to be a big point of worry. And as we approach a trade deadline, the Dolphins need to be buyers and they need to find a solution at the running back position.
Let's stick with that. Hussam, before I get into your takes, the running back was bad. The running back game was bad. There was no real push through the line. There was no explosion. So what are your thoughts on them being buyers in a couple of days when the trade deadline is on, I believe, Wednesday? Or Tuesday, actually. It's Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday the 3rd.
My mistake. So what are your thoughts on that particular aspect of them being buyers, and who might you think, if they are buyers, do they need to make a proper running back fit in this offense?
I have a feeling they're going to switch a little bit of gears. I do not think they're going to be buyers at the running back position. What I see is they have a great group of running backs with Myles Gaskin, Matt Breida, Jordan Howard, Patrick Laird. You have Malcolm Perry, a potential running back. Same with Lynn Bowden. And then you also have Salvon Ahmed in the practice squad. Now, I could see possibly Jordan Howard could get traded, might possibly get cut. They would probably want to keep that, have him cut so they can save a little bit of the cap. But, however, we've seen throughout this game, Gaskin did have a fumble, and he did not catch the ball on that crucial 3rd down. And it was a little bit worrying to watch. And along with the running game, they did play a great defensive line with Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers, Samson Ebicom, and Linville Day Joseph. But I think that the running game, it's got to be schemed out a little bit. Gailey he's got to do a little bit more. There were some kinks in the offensive game plan today, and Chan Gailey needs to work on that.
I agree. And a lot of people were saying during the game, specifically the 3rd and 4th quarter, that the Chan Gailey scheme or the game plan wasn't really great. And, that's a conversation that could be a deeper discussion, Jorge. But I do think that, the running back position needs to be addressed. I don't necessarily think they're going to bring in a big name, but we'll see what they do with the continuity of the position. I don't think Jordan Howard is going to be featured much more. I don't think he proved himself or is looking like the Jordan Howard in the last couple of years, where he was literally the 3rd leading running back since 2016, believe that or not. So what do you think, now back to you, Jorge, on how that scheme was with Chan Gailey or the offensive play calling in the second half?
Honestly, I was disappointed with Gailey, and we talked about it at the half. Everything we said that he had to avoid, he basically did it straight away. He tried to be too cute. That wildcat call was awful, and there's one of two things: either he's not comfortable yet with Tua and calling plays with him, which is normal, is the first game together, or he didn't trust the offensive line today to stop the Rams' defensive line. They are a great defensive line for sure, but especially at the end of the game when it was 3rd and short, he should have just put it in Tua's hands and let him make a quick throw there. He didn't. He decided to run it. They were stopped. We were forced to punt, and And honestly, the game could have turned a lot differently if not for that missed field goal by the Rams. So even though it's a great win and we're all happy about it, let's not lose sight of that fact. I think Chan Gailey didn't prep the game as well as he should have. I think there's a lot of schemes a lot of things that he could have done to help Tua. Those short passes on the jet sweep could have been great with Jakeem Grant, with Malcolm Perry, with Matt Breida. We didn't see a single one of those. Then he calls a shovel pass to the right of Tua, which forces him to stop, turn his body, and then throw it with his left instead of just going to the left and then turning it to the other side. I think Chan Gailey was uncomfortable in this game, and I think he and Tua need to talk about what Tua does well, what the offense, how the offense can make use of his skill set. I don't think we use Devante Parker the way he could have been. I think those quick slants would have been great with him. We didn't see them except once in the score. Mike Gesicki, I think, would have been great in some of those rollout passes. He wasn't there. Honestly, I thought it was the worst game of the Chan Gailey era. So the worst game of the season so far.
Yeah, piggybacking on that, I do want to say, in the beginning, that first hit, that the fumble and then the hit on Tua, it did scare us a little bit, but he did get back up. And Tua did say, it was a good hit. He was glad he got hit. But then as the game wore on, you could see Gailey, they played it a little too safe with Tua. It's like they had the training wheels on him. And, kudos to the defense. They really, really, they played lights out, knockout defense. And as a result of that, I think for the second half, the game plan changed a little bit initially because the offense was doing okay, not good, but okay. They had an 18-point lead, and, as you said, they were getting a little cute with it a little bit, but I think Gailey and possibly even Flores during the halftime, they said, let's scale it back a little bit. Let's keep this lead intact. Let's keep Tua safe. Let him make those easy throws and also get him accustomed to those early on reads, because now heading into next week's game against Arizona, things are going to speed up a little bit for him, and teams have more game tape on him as well.
What I wanted to touch on, you mentioned a little bit of the defense playing lights out, which is great. Every football team has three components, and this game they had two components play really terrific in terms of defense, of course, and the special teams with Jakeem Grant getting that special teams unit first touchdown of the year. Matt Hack is really, honestly, one of the best punters in the league, maybe even in the AFC overall. He's just a consistent, net yardage gainer. I mean, he's a field flipper. So that's terrific on the special team side. So this is encouraging with the kind of negatives. And as Jorge pointed out, and you're talking about Hussam, the offense did not look terrific. The Chan Gailey system did not look great right now. And you're getting a win against a team 2 years removed from a Super Bowl that's not very, very different, against a premier defensive player. And they have to fix their offense with a rookie quarterback and an old school offensive coordinator. So you have to bridge that gap, which is fine. And you know what? Preston Williams made a couple of drops. There were the Gaskin fumble. There was the drop for Gaskin. So there were mistakes. And that Gesicki play, that long play where it was almost an interception, I liked the fact that he was playing out on the sideline, that they were going deep. There was also a deep pass that Tua had a couple of plays prior. So I liked that there were a couple of open field throws. But I do agree with both of you that they need to kind of open it up a little bit more and get a little, not cute, but creative. I'm glad you said that. I think Jorge, you said that. And I want to go back to you. What would you think the difference between, forget cute, creative, what do you think would be a nice look? And I know you mentioned some of those speed guys. What do you want to see, Jorge?
Well, I want to see the team playing smarter on offense. I mean, show that you trust your rookies on the offensive line. They're playing there. So show that you trust them. Give Tua the ball. Let him do those quick slants that he's so good at. I mean, I think we only saw one RPO concept throughout the game, and it was that completion to Preston Williams early on, and then they just drifted away from that. So put Tua in a position where he's going to succeed just in those short passes down the middle, or let him throw it deep to Devante Parker and Preston Williams throughout the game, something which he did at Alabama. They need to use more of those crossing routes. I think next game with Lynn Bowden being back, hopefully, we're going to see a little bit more of that. But if you put Jakeem Grant on one side, Bowden on the other, you add the Gesicki and so on, then that offense starts becoming much less predictable. I mean, right now we saw Tua under center twice throughout the game. Both were runs, and everyone knew that he was going to be outside of the, taking a snap from the gun and from the pistol. So I mean that's good, because that's what he does best. But once you're doing that, then let him throw the ball quickly. Don't make him read like he was doing in the first quarter. Just hit quickly down the middle with those lands, or throw it deep to Preston and Devante. Don't force him to hold on to the ball. And those bootlegs, I mean, they work this time, but I can assure you that next week Arizona is going to be hunting them down, just like the Dolphins were with Jared Goff throughout this game. They were just they didn't wait too often, and they were too predictable at the end, I thought.
Talk to me about what you think they need to build on defensively, because I got to say, they're young players. If you look at some of these guys, Christian Wilkins, Nick Needham, Andrew Van Ginkel, the amount of games that they've played is so minimal, and there's such development left. So you love a touchdown, you love turnovers, you love sacks by Agba and Lawson. That's becoming a theme. Both those guys getting sacks in the same game. You got to love that. So any last takeaways on the defensive side?
I mean, I think it's going to be a great matchup next week with DeAndre Hopkins. And it's going to be interesting to see if they decide to shadow him with X or Byron Jones, or they just decide to match him up with whoever he lines up against. It's going to be a very different challenge next week. They play a very mobile quarterback in Kyler Murray. So I'm going to see if the young guys are ready for that challenge, and just be disciplined and staying in your gaps, and don't let him get away. I think he's the most elusive quarterback right now in the league, even more than Russell or Lamar. And it's going to be very interesting to see those young players that are really coming into their own face a whole new different challenge. As we know, the Brian Flores and Josh Boyer defense adapts to the opposition, and they're probably going to do the same this week. The thing is that Arizona probably has the offense that the Dolphins are going to need to adapt to for Tua. So it's going to be interesting to see them match up with that Kyler Murray offense next week.
On paper, you look at a Kyler Murray versus a Tua Tagovailoa, it's actually fantastic. So, Hussam, to bridge the, week 8, we're wrapping that up. Got to move on to week 9. How do you think the Dolphins are going to go back into the boardroom, back into the locker room, and really kind of fix things up? How are you thinking they're going to fix this offense? What are you looking for?
So I feel like, piggyback off of Jorge's point, I think they're going to get rid of the pistol formation. As we saw today throughout the pistol formation when he was doing those play action passes, the defensive linemen were already in the backfield, and he had to check down the throws to the running backs. He had to check down those throws to the tight ends. I think what we're going to see a little bit more is a single back look with Chandler Cox. Chandler Cox was deactivated in the game. But we're also going to see more so of a spread offense, within the gun, or, empty backfield, 5 wide receivers deep. Go on those crossing routes. Go, make that play action pass, and hit it deep. Tua is a great, accurate thrower, even on the run as well with those rollouts. And with an Arizona defense coming in, that defense is actually really, really good. You have players like Isaiah Simmons, you have Jordan Phillips, you have Patrick Peterson, and you have a top 5 safety in Budda Baker. And not to mention Vance Joseph, their defensive coordinator. He was good with the Dolphins, and he's even better with the Arizona Cardinals. So absolutely. I'm going to need to see Chan Gailey and company be better on this offensive side and get Gaskin, Breida, Laird, Bowden, and Perry involved in the run game, not just a simple quick handoff. We need to see more of those quick sweeps. We need to see those jet sweeps, and we need to see a variation of the Wildcat we have not seen before. We talk about the Dolphins being the first team to bring out the Wildcat. Why not wrinkle in more concepts into it? You have Malcolm Perry, and you have Lynn Bowden Jr., along with Tua as well. Chan can make it work. He just needs to get rid of that old school mentality and incorporate some college concepts into the offense.
I completely agree. And I think that if you can get an offense with Tua, Breida, Malcolm Perry, and Jakeem Grant all on the field in the same personnel package, who do you worry about as the home run threat? Who do you worry about to take away? So it just, even if it is to not utilize them, but go ahead. What do you got?
Not only that, I wanted to mention on your point, There were a couple drop passes from Preston Williams today and a couple drop passes too. Tua did everything right this game, even though it didn't look like it. He could have been 16 for 22, maybe possibly another touchdown pass, bringing this game, even better. I think Tua's going to have an even better game this time around because this was kind of like a preseason game for him, and I see him doing much, much better. I see him doing much, much better.
That is a good point. No preseason, so really, if you can't count last game against the Jets, you can't count anything during the bye. So really, this is preseason full game one. That's got to be a win. So to get us out of here and to let everybody in Fin Nation enjoy this Sunday, and obviously enjoy a couple of days, because you know what? Fin Nation, everyone deserves it. But Hussam, you are in the PhinManiacs Varsity Program, so you're a college student. You're going to be doing a lot of great stuff for us. So you want to tell us about what overall you'll be working on in the next coming days?
For sure. In the next coming days and in the next couple weeks, college football is ramping up big time. The Big Ten is back. The Big 12 is back. Pac-12 is starting off. ACC is getting really, really hot too. We're going to see a lot of the player development happen within these draft prospects. And, I'm going to be doing a little bit of spotlights on them and also making sure what kind of players the Dolphins need to fit those positions. Last week we had Jalen Waddle come out. This week I'm coming out with a defensive player who could, help the Dolphins defense even more. And as the season progresses, we're going to see a lot of players that we might need to help with Tua's progression on the offense and even build a much better defense to what Brian Flores wants.
Love hearing that. And you know what? Even if it's not a Dolphin fan, listen on in. Obviously, there are 31 other teams in the league. So if you're doing a piece on a Jalen Waddle, and obviously, hopefully he gets healthy, if you're doing a piece on Devontae Smith or any other defensive player out there, you want to have other team fans and other personnel check out what you got. So looking forward to that. Glad to have you. And Jorge, I know you're going to be doing some fun stuff writing-wise. You already got your hot takes out there about 14 seconds after triple zeros on the scoreboard. So what else are you doing up in PhinManiacs?
So on Wednesday, I'll be doing the matchup with the Arizona Cardinals and looking at that game and what Dolphins need to worry about. We hit it on the bottom this week with a concern about the running game and the way that the defense had to play for the Dolphins to win. So we're gonna do the same thing for next week in the Arizona Cardinals.
Very good. And you also will have another podcast coming out on your own, which is going to be a really fun. We can really make this the announcement right now. And Jorge, you're going to be doing your own show in Spanish to fully break down the X's and O's. And I want to give you the floor to really, I know it's a passion project that you got.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to try to do is to bridge that gap with the Spanish-speaking fans of the Miami Dolphins and just be very, very educational without being petulant, just going over the basics of what we talk about when we talk about X's and O's and the Dolphin schemes and so on, and just bridging the gap, because I firmly believe that the more educated fans you have, the better fans you have. So that's what we're going to try to do with the Spanish speakers coming this week.
I love that.
I'm telling you, the abuelos are going to be happy.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to that. And tomorrow, Monday, I'm very thrilled to announce that we will be doing a show on PhinManiacs with the great Jay Fiedler, the last quarterback of the Miami Dolphins to win us a playoff game. He was number 9. What a gritty, tough competitor. We will be really breaking down the footage, talking about Tua, talking about the opposing quarterbacks. We'll do it weekly. It's going to be called the Monday Quarterback with Jay Fiedler and yours truly, Jason Sarney. So I can't wait. Thank you very much for Jay Fiedler coming on board. And thank you, everyone out there, for coming on to PhinManiacs and reading all of our writers' stuff and listening on into our show. So there'll be a lot more. It's a great time for everyone out there to cover this great team that we all love. It is a new era, a new day. So fins up, everybody. For Hussam, Jorge, Jason here. Take care, everyone.
Fins up, everybody.